Today we shall discuss the topic food chain and ecological pyramids. Food chain is nothing but a sequence of organisms in which one organism feeds on the one preceding it, not the succeeding one but the preceding one. This chain and this sequence is known as food chain. And of course, in ecology, it is a very important event to study because there are different trophic levels and there is a transfer of energy, there is circulation of so-called chemicals. So, from that point of view, to study the structure and functioning of an ecosystem, study of food chain is very important. Normally, we differentiate three different types of food chains. The first one is prey-predator food chain, second one is parasitic food chain, and the third one is detritus food chain. In prey-predator food chain, the relationship between the succeeding organisms is of prey-predator type. For example, if we consider the food chain of grassland ecosystem, in a grassland we come across grasses, the producers, grasshoppers, the primary consumers, then frogs, secondary consumers, then snake, followed by the eagles or the hawks acting as tertiary and quaternary consumers. The link between these organisms is somewhat peculiar because in each and every link we can see a prey-predatory relationship. Hawk attacks on the snake and consumes it. Snake attacks on frog and consumes it, and the frog attacks on grasshopper, consumes it, and even the grasshoppers indiscriminately consume the grasses. So, in each step we can see somewhat a prey-predatory mode of relationship. The second one is parasitic food chain. In parasitic food chain, we can see the relationship between the organisms is of parasite and host. If you consider a huge tree, normally on the fruit bearing trees we can see plenty of birds, and on each and every bird we can see numerous lice and bugs which act as parasites, and on each lice and bug we can see plenty of bacteria and other microorganisms. Now, the relationship between the microorganisms and the lice and bugs is parasitic. The relationship between the lice and bugs and the birds is parasitic, and in a way the bird is a parasite and it depends on the fruit bearing plants for its survival, that is also parasitic. So, this is the second way of looking at the food chain. And the third one is a detritus food chain. Detritus is nothing but the humus or the decomposed matter. When the leaves or the plant pods fall on the ground, because of putrefaction, decomposition, over a period of time it gets converted into the humus like black detritus. And there are some organisms which are referred as detrivores, and the detrivores feed on the detritus and they survive. And the link can be established like this. Consider a huge tree. The leaves of the tree, they fall down, and the leaves over a period of time gets converted into the humus or the detritus. And there are some detrivores like earthworms and some organisms, they feed on the detritus for their survival. This small food chain with limited links is called by the name detritus food chain. We have another concept called food web. Food web is nothing but an interconnected food chain. The food chains in any natural ecosystem is never simple. It is never simple. Any food chain, for that matter, has numerous links, interconnections as well as the side links. That's why the food chains are never simple and never linear. They are always a web-like arrangement. They are always interconnected. Such an interconnected food chain is called by the name food web. And in grassland ecosystem, we can consider this. Grass is eaten by the grasshoppers. Grass is eaten by the rabbits. Grass is consumed by the mice. The grasshoppers, which occupy the second trophic level, are consumed not only by the frogs, but sometimes by some other carnivorous organisms. Whereas mice and rabbits are consumed by the snakes as well as some other bigger carnivorous animals. And the snake and other carnivorous animals may be consumed by the hawk and the eagles. That means we can see somewhat a net or a web can be seen. That's the reason it is set as the food web. Coming to the concept of ecological pyramids. Pyramids, of course, all of you have seen, and if you presume the structure of a pyramid, it assumes the shape of a triangle with a broad base and a narrow apex. Now, ecological pyramids are nothing but the diagrammatic, quantitative and qualitative representation of the trophic structure and functioning of an ecosystem. The trophic structure and the functioning of an ecosystem can be depicted in the form of a graph. And when a graph is drawn, normally it assumes the shape of a pyramid with a broad base and a narrow apex. We can see three different types of pyramids. Number one, pyramid of number. Number two, pyramid of biomass. And number three, pyramid of energy. Pyramid of number and pyramid of biomass are both upright pyramids as well as inverted pyramids. We can see examples for this, whereas pyramid of energy is always an upright pyramid. Now, what is pyramid of number? Pyramid of number is nothing but the diagrammatic, quantitative representation of the numerical relationship between the organisms present in different trophic levels of an ecosystem. So, this graph or the diagram indicates the number of organisms present in each trophic level. It may be an upright or inverted pyramid. Likewise, the pyramid which indicates the biomass of organisms present in different trophic levels of an ecosystem is pyramid of biomass, and pyramid of energy is nothing but the diagrammatic representation of the amount of energy available to the organisms at different trophic levels. And always the producers receive huge amount of energy. Since the energy flow in an ecosystem obeys the second law of thermodynamics, obviously organisms occupying the higher trophic levels receive comparatively less amount of energy. Hence, the pyramid of energy is always an upright pyramid. Thank you.